The United States Supreme Court was established in 1789 and today is recognized as the highest federal court in the United States judicial system. For over 200 years, the United States Supreme Court has tried cases regarding the interpretation of the Constitution and disputes on the matter of state rights. Due to the influence that the court has on the interpretation of the law, the appointment of a new justice has always been a controversial issue, especially if they share the same interpretation as the president. Since the recent retirement of Associate Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy in June of 2018, the Supreme Court has been left with only 8 members. Therefore, almost 2 weeks after Kennedy's retirement, President Donald Trump nominated former 13th Circuit Court of Appeals Judge Brett Michael Kavanaugh to the United States Supreme Court. Kavanaugh's conservative stance on abortion and the Second Amendment made him a suitable nominee for President Trump.
I am deeply honored to be nominated to fill his seat on the Supreme Court.
Brett Kavanaugh attended Georgetown Prep and All-Boys High School, located in Washington, D.C., and then graduated from Yale in 1987. Kavanaugh then continued his education at the Yale School of Law, where he received his Juris Doctorate in 1990. He then went on to work as a judge on the D.C. Court of Appeals for 12 years before his appointment to the Supreme Court by President Trump on October 6, 2018. However, weeks before his appointment, things took an unexpected turn.
Brett's assault on me drastically altered my life. For a very long time, I was too afraid and ashamed to tell anyone these details.
Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, professor at Palo Alto University and a research psychologist at Stanford School of Medicine, according to the Washington Post, had brought up allegations of sexual misconduct on the part of Kavanaugh, causing a subsequent Senate hearing on whether Kavanaugh's nomination would go to the floor. The hearing and Kavanaugh's eventual confirmation would spark a massive controversy, as many across the nation and among the ranks of the prominent Me Too movement, a feminist movement aimed at giving support to survivors and raising awareness for sexual assault, felt that Dr. Blasey Ford had given a legitimate and convincing testimony that a guilty man was going to assume a seat on the highest court.
According to Haley Britsky from Axios.com, on July 6th, 3 days before Kavanaugh's appointment, Christine Blasey Ford wrote to her congresswoman, voicing her concerns about the possibility of Kavanaugh being appointed. After Kavanaugh's appointment, Dr. Ford, a graduate of Holton Arms School, less than 10 miles from Georgetown Prep, wrote a letter to Senator Deanne Feinstein describing how she had been sexually assaulted by Kavanaugh at a party in 1982. The letter was leaked and Ford went public with the Washington Post. While Kavanaugh denied all claims, Ford's lawyer emailed the Senate Judiciary Committee saying that Ford had agreed to testify. Meanwhile, 2 other women, Deborah Ramirez and Julie Swetnick, came forward and said that they had also had experience of sexual assault involving Brett Kavanaugh during their time at Yale. On September 27th, both Ford and Kavanaugh testified before the Senate Judiciary hearing. On the 28th, the committee voted to send Kavanaugh's confirmation to the Senate floor.
There are many inconsistencies in Dr. Ford's accounts. She couldn't remember specific details from the experience. She couldn't recall whose house she was in, when the event took place, nor the specific month, day, or year the event occurred on. She also claimed to have never told anyone, not even her mother or other family, about what happened, so there are no other individuals that could have verified the story besides herself. Her lifelong friend, Leland Ingham Kaiser, one of 4 people Ford claims to have been with that night, never recalls having been at the party with Brett Kavanaugh.
Throughout my 53 years and 7 months on this earth until last week, no one ever accused me of any kind of sexual misconduct. No one, ever.
This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics.
With the rise of the Me Too movement, a social media campaign that empowers survivors of sexual abuse, assault, and harassment to speak out, victims like Dr. Ford have now been given the confidence and support to share their experiences, which could explain why she has finally decided to come forward nearly 40 years later. This controversy has gained the attention of many psychologists that focus on post-traumatic stress associated with sexual assault victims, first responders, and veterans. Incomplete memories are normal due to the fact that central details are typically remembered best, as they have emotional significance and alter the life of the person at hand. Peripheral memories, memories of things you are not focused on, are forgotten or hard to remember, especially over a long period of time. All of this makes sense for someone who may have been sexually assaulted, as they may not be able to remember many outside details related to their traumatic experience.
Are gathered around the Capitol and the Supreme Court to protest his confirmation. NBC's
These allegations made by Christine Blasey Ford began to stir much controversy amongst Americans nationwide. To better gauge where the public stands on this controversy, we decided to interview college students, more specifically students on campus here at Penn State, about the Kavanaugh hearing.
It's setting a precedent in our country that I thought we were past with like the whole Me Too movement that's gone on lately. Our government just saying a huge like who cares about someone's sexual assault and someone that we're going to put on the Supreme Court is really upsetting in 2018.
I do. I think she's full of it. I think the other women who came forward and accused him were just jumping on the bandwagon.
I think guilt should be proven before guilt is presumed, because I don't think that innocent people should have to pay for crimes they did not commit.
I mean, that's awesome that we have another Republican on the Supreme Court.
I watched a lot of the trials, and she wasn't a very believable person just to look at, honestly.
As you can see, this is a very divisive issue as this controversy extends itself to social media.
At I Am Roxanne Jones says, if Christine Blasey Ford was this angry, arrogant, and dismissive at the hearings as Kavanaugh, she would have been labeled an angry, vindictive man-hater, and this is part of the problem. # double standards. At Simone D. Sanders says, the witnesses do not say it didn't happen. They say they have no memory of it, or they do not remember the night in question. Goodness, these are basic facts. # Kavanaugh confirmation. Even President Donald Trump took to Twitter to voice his opinion. He tweeted, Judge Kavanaugh showed America exactly why I nominated him. His testimony was powerful, honest, and inviting. Democrats' search and destroy strategy is disgraceful, and this process has been a total sham, an effort to delay, obstruct, and resist. The Senate must vote.